When VBS begins, the kids come in and register. They will be assigned to their classroom for their age. Each classroom has a color, and each color has a color tarp that is going to be in the sanctuary for the kids to go and sit on after they get their food. They will eat their food with their class on their color tarp while you supervise them in the sanctuary. So all of my teachers need to be ready to be in the sanctuary with their kids on their tarp, looking for the kids with the name tags that match the color tarp that they have. So the four-year-old class will be a bright yellow with purple lines through the tags, and the kindergarten class will be yellow. And so both classes will sit on the yellow tarp. That is because Amy and Jason, who are teaching the kindergarten class, will also be doing puppet skits. So the 4-year-old teacher, Jennifer, and her assistant, Emma, will need to sit with both of those classes on the yellow tarp while they eat. Make sure all of their food stays on the tarp. The first grade class is red, and so Miss Debbie and Skylar will be on the red tarp. The second grade class is orange, and so Katie and her assistant will be on the orange tarp. The third and fourth grade class is blue, and that's Maddie and Colin and Kayla Giebler, and they will be on the blue tarp eating. And then the fifth and sixth grade class is green, so they'll stay on the green tarp. They'll probably be the youngest, and the oldest kids will be the hardest ones to keep on the tarps. So these will be on the sides of the sanctuary. After they eat their food, they need to throw their plate away and all of their trash, and then they need to just move over to the color rectangle in the center of the sanctuary floor that matches their class. There will be no chairs in the sanctuary basically to sit on. They will all be stacked and on the sides. Hi, we're going to do some teaching videos for you to watch and training videos for VBS. This is Maddie, and we have made our box car for the first day, and all of your supplies for your teaching stuff is going to be in a box like this. It's going to be a plain box, and I'm going to let you decorate it however you want. But I think not only using it on the first day, but all of the days to have your supplies for the teaching materials in it would be really cute and a nice way to decorate your room. Ours is kind of just with construction paper, and that's what I'm going to include in your supplies to make the box. But if you want to make it fancier, go for it. So we're going to do the first day now. We're going to have Maddie pull out the supplies as I read the script. You can deviate from the script a little bit if you want to, but we're going to stick right to it so that we can show you how to do it. So we've got this down here, and it says, Jesus had just come back to town and his heart was full of God's love. He was led into the desert where he met the devil. The devil spent the next 40 days during which Jesus ate nothing. That's hard. Trying to do one thing, shrink the heart of Jesus so small that he couldn't even possibly love God anymore. So we're going to pull out a rock, and knowing that Jesus, and we found this on the church property, so if you don't have any rocks at home, you can find one on the church property, but I'm not going to put a rock in everybody's box. I'm just going to let you find it or bring it. Knowing that Jesus had not eaten anything in the last 40 days, the devil took a rock and said to Jesus, "If you are the Son of God, let this stone become bread." Now, if it was me teaching this, I would probably pass the rock around the class while I'm talking. Now, Jesus was so hungry, not having eaten for so long, and a piece of bread surely sounded really good. But Jesus also knew that the devil was just trying to get him to prove he was God, which he already knew. So Jesus said, "Man does not live by bread alone." Okay, so then we're going to stick that back in the box. For day one, for your memory work, your roadmap memory work, you will receive 2 aluminum pans. You'll receive 30 washers, And you will split those washers up and you will write your memory verse word by word on each washer. So like you can see in this picture that one of the washers says love. Then you're going to pour a little bit of the root beer that I included in your car box, and that is supposed to represent oil. The kids are then going to split into two groups and use the tongs and go one at a time and try to pick up the washers with the tongs and put it on their paper towel, and then their group works together to put the memory verse together. It'll be lots of fun. It's actually really hard. We tried it and I took a video of it and somehow it didn't transfer on my phone. So I probably forgot to push record. That's just how it goes. So this will be a fun little project, and you can tell the kids that it's oil if you like, or some of the older kids will probably know that it's root beer.
Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind. And love your neighbor as yourself. Luke 10:27.
So we're sitting here making these videos, and Maddie had a really good question about time and everything when you're teaching the class. So I'm going to kind of go through the schedule here and offer some different options for you because it is a short amount of time. So let's just look at the 3rd and 4th grade because that's what class they're teaching it in. And if you look here, after worship, they're going to have recreation first. And I know every class is going to be different. So they have recreation in the sanctuary, and then the snack is going to be in the wedge, and there are always popsicles outside. And you need to be with your class when they do this. At least one teacher needs to be in there kind of guiding them where to go next. Then they'll go to their room and they'll do the tool talk. So the tool talk for the first day is in the video that we did with the heart, custom built heart and all of that, pulling out of the car. And that may take you all of the time that you have for this class. It's like 20 some odd minutes. If you get done early, you might go ahead and do this step 3, discuss the Bible challenge. You can make it discuss the Bible story instead of the Bible challenge. So maybe you do some discussion questions, or maybe you go ahead and give them their books that they're going to have in class, and they need to put their names on them, and they start working on this worksheet. When you come back to, they're going to go to crafts after that tool talk class, and I suggest that you leave one of your assistants, whether it's your teen assistant or your assistant teacher, in your classroom to go ahead and set up this memory verse game that you're going to do, so that it will be all ready for you when you come back to the classroom. Then you're going to come back and do this roadmap memory verse. I highly suggest, I know in the curriculum that they list the book first. Don't do that. Do this first. Do the scripture memory verse game first, and then they can work on their book. Because at the end of the week, they're going to take their book home, and if they don't have it all done, they can do it in the summertime. So it's just continued learning. Do this first, and then do their book. And then if you have time, discuss the Bible challenge. But I would always start with this memory verse. Also, your class is going to have a memory verse that you're going to be doing for the celebration on Thursday. You want to review that during this time too. So make sure they know the motions to that, and the motions will be in this video. Hi, we're now recording. Okay, so for day 2, for your Bible lesson, we're going to include 3 boxes. It says in the instructions to wrap them with same colored paper. We didn't do that. We just put on the side of our boxes that I will include construction paper, and it says sin, and we just taped it on. So I'm going to include some construction paper and some empty boxes we have around here at the church. And for the first part of the lesson, you're supposed to stack the boxes on a first volunteer. I highly suggest that you just use the teachers, and that way we don't have to put stuff inside the boxes. We can just pretend like they're heavy. So I'm going to have Colin stack them on Maddie just to show you kind of what we should do. So while you're teaching the Bible lesson, have maybe a child put them on one of your teachers, your assistant, and it covers her up. And so then you're going to ask them, how does that feel? And, you know, we need to do a little acting and act like it's heavy. Maddie. And then if one falls off, just be like, now does it feel a little better that one fell off? And she says, yes. And then remove the next box. As you're reading through, it tells you when to remove them. And then she feels a little better. And then remove the other box and she feels lighter. Okay, and then you're going to switch places. And now it's Maddie's turn to put them on Colin. And she's, you know, he needs to do a little acting like, oh, that's heavy. Oh, that's heavy sin. And then, yeah, and then put the last part on there. And then again, you just read the script and remove them like it says. So I really think that this one will work better if you use your teens and adults that are in your class and not the kids in the room. And that way we can make all these boxes and they're not actually heavy. But if you want to put stuff in them and have your kids do this, go right ahead. For day 2, for your scripture memory verse, your roadmap memory verse work, we are going to take a poster of the memory verse. It's the poster that has the girl with the purple car. We're going to give you a poster and we're going to print it on cardstock for you, and we're going to draw lines for a puzzle, and then you just need to cut those out. So I'll put 2 of those in your bag, in your car box, and you're going to cut those out, and they are going to split up into teams and then put the puzzle poster together. So you can do something fun for the team that wins. Maybe they get a small prize out of your treasure chest.
We love because he first loved us. 1 John 4:19.
For day 3, we're going to be talking about the paralytic man, and it has lots of props, and you're going to actually use your kids to help act out the Bible story. If you've never done this before, what I suggest doing is you're going to have all of the props in place, and we will give you those. So for the branches, I'm going to give you my Palm Sunday branches, and that way we don't have bugs all over the leaves and stuff. We're going to give you these wooden planks, maybe just one. They're just cardboard. Make sure the kids don't tear them up. I use them basically every year to do different things. So we're going to give you one of these to represent the wooden planks. A small tarp. We're going to try to get you a parachute. If I don't have enough parachutes, we're going to give you a sheet. And we're not going to do the bag of leaves. It's too messy. The light bulb, I'm just going to give you a piece of yellow construction paper, and you can cut out a light bulb and make it yourself. If you have a light bulb at home that you'd like to bring, please do. And then, of course, a Bible. We'll include that in your car box of supplies. So you need to read through this, and I always make sure that the kids know they cannot talk during this. So even the actors, they're just going to do as you tell them to do in the skit. So you're just going to read it, and you're going to kind of point out to the actors what they need to do with their props to tell it. So have fun with this, but it really helps if you practice it several times and you have the supplies out ahead of time and know what you're doing before the actual class starts so that you're not winging it. So for day 3, for our why can I not remember what this is called? Our roadmap memory work. Oh, these are so professional, sorry. We changed this a little bit. Maddie and I were talking, and you know what? The ratchets, 8 per team, that's a lot of ratchets to find and have and know who to give them back to and all of that stuff. So we're going to do something a little different for this. We are going to print, and you already have some of these copies in your books. We're going to print off these tools. You'll need to cut them out. We're going to give you a blank copy that don't have the words on them. And then we're going to give you a copy that has the memory verse on them. And you will have, you'll have basically 16 blank tools and 16 tools with the memory verse on different tools. So what's going to happen is you're going to have 2 teams. They're going to grab a tool that's blank, and they have to run to the other side of the room and match it to the same tool. And then they come back, and once you've collected all of the tools, your group will put the memory verse together. So make sure and do that first when you come back to your classroom.
Dear children, let us not love with words or tongue, but with actions and in truth. 1 John 3:18.
All right, for day 4, this day is totally different because we have the celebration on your schedule. It'll have your times. So basically, after the worship rally, you're going to go into your classroom with your kids and you're going to do the tool talk and the roadmap memory work all at one time. And then we're going to do our program. A lot of teachers choose to do, of course, the Bible lesson, and then they practice their memory verse and their song, which you're also welcome to do. I do not have enough boom boxes for everybody to have the song, so you may want to bring your own. Or you can just use your phone and get on YouTube and play the song. But definitely do the Bible lesson no matter what. So in your box, there's going to be some blank index cards, and it gives you instructions on what to number the cards. You're going to put the number on the back and the word on the front. So it says to use big pieces of paper. We're going to use index cards. So I'm going to have Colin kind of demonstrate what you're going to do. So you read this first part, and then when you get to the modern day story, you're going to have the kids, I think it says use 2, come up and stand and do these in order. So Mike was a 5th grader who just moved into the area from another state. Not only was he new, but his mom was working 2 jobs. So, and he didn't have time to get Mike to school for a visit before his first day. Mike had to get ready on his own in the morning and didn't pick his best 4 clothes. So you'll have to just pause so that they know to pick up the cards. And then you just keep doing that with the whole entire story. So you can use several different kids from your class to do this, and make sure and do that first before you do your practicing. For the last day for the roadmap memory work, we're just going to include the manual, which will already be in your classroom, and they should have their names on it. We're not going to do the game because honestly, you're going to want to practice your own memory verse for the celebration with the kids, and you're also going to want to practice their song. So even though this is included in there, I'm not going to include any supplies for it besides the books that'll be in your classroom. When you leave the classroom to go to the program, you need to take the kids and sit in their square or rectangle in the sanctuary, and they need to have all of their items that they're going to take home with them. So they'll need their book that they had, that workbook with their name on it, they'll need that, and any crafts that they had. Now the cars are going to be outside so they can race them. So their cars they've been working on and crafts are going to be outside. So really they should only have this and maybe a few other things. So I hope this helps in your training for a VBS, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
A new command I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. John 13:34.